Hi guys, it's me, Sabrina K. Today's session, we're gonna talk about rights management, starting off part 1. So, a glimpse overview on this session would be talking about the introduction of the rights management, what is the foundation of it, and moving on, we'll be going through Azure rights management. And next and last, which is to understand what are the helpful areas that the Azure rights management could help it. So a short introduction about me, which is I mostly handles server system security related and cloud solution. I occasionally does PowerShell scripting for automation purposes, and I really love customization. You could drop by to my blog, have a look. I did a few customization data lake policy for Office 365. Next. So what is the foundation of rights management? On this page, I will try to make it slight technical and slight layman term for beginners to have a easy understanding, have an easy picture of what is rights management. So I think that taking this hamster in a ball is a very good example for rights management. So the first point says that it acts as an external layer of protection of a content, just like this hamster in the ball, where the hamster is the content and the rights management is the ball. Next, it provides protection on the entire content of file and email. When I say email, entire email thread, which is mean that I could show you an example. When you create a new email and you apply rights management towards it, then when someone replies to it, it stays protected. Next, only authorized users and services can access the protected data. So meaning that when you configure rights management and you apply or you add on who are the authorized user or services that can access this protected data. So in layman terms, like this hamster has applied that his owner is the authorized person to only able to open the ball and carry him out from the ball. Moving on. So let's talk about Azure rights management. There is a shorter term for Azure rights management, which we call it as Azure RMS. Is actually a protection technology used by Azure Information Protection. Another abbreviation for this is AIP. Next, it combines the encryption, identity, and authorization policy to help secure your files and email. So these are the Azure Rights Management supported solution. So the first thing would be the cloud level. So we start with the cloud level, and then moving on to the Windows Server, which is the file service, where it needs to integrate with the file classification infrastructure and the dynamic access control. Next would be Exchange Server and SharePoint Server. It does support that. And nextly would be your Windows Active Directory and your Azure Active Directory Connect, or you could call it as the directory synchronization. So yeah, the identities that it's supported for the rights management. And nextly would be the platforms, devices platforms. As you can see, Windows, Mac OS, iOS, Android, and also Windows Phone. Yes, Windows Phone does still exist. Anyway, let's move on. So, what's so great about Azure Rights Management? How could it even help you? What can it help you for? So it could help you to protect multiple files types. It doesn't just protect your Office application file type, which is like Word, your PowerPoint, and your Excel. It does protect for other file type like PDF, XML, text, and etc. You could find this file type support under the Azure Rights Management, Microsoft Docs online. Moving on, protect files anywhere. When a file or an email that is attached with the Azure Rights Management, it will stay protected no matter where it goes, either internal or external. Thirdly, safely share information. Why do I say safely share information? When you create an Azure Rights Management, it requires who are the authorized person or user to be able to access the content. So that's why when I say safely share information, meaning that only authorized users can access the content. Unauthorized users will not be able to access the content, and it will flag a notification to the owners or to the administrator. Moving on, auditing and monitoring. So that leads to auditing and monitoring. So whenever there's user accessing to the content or rejected due to unauthorized and any changes made towards the policy apply sensitive level, then there is a auditing and monitoring interface under the Azure Rights Management would be provide a great visibility towards the administrator or the owners. Next, easy activation. Yes, it is extremely easy to activate comparing the older version of the rights management. If you've been through the older version of the rights management, which would be called as the information rights management, which is under the Office 365 level. Moving on, ability to create simple and flexible policy. When I say ability to create simple and flexible policy, as again I would take the current Azure Rights Management comparing with the older version, which is the Information Rights Management. The gap of the simplicity and the flexibility is pretty big. So the current Azure Rights Management really provides administrator the ease and the flexibility to create policy so they don't have this irritating feeling while creating policy. I understand that data loss prevention, anything that is related to security and compliance, it comes a frustration and confusing and also irritating feelings together because it's very hard to determine what are the policy that you needed. Next and lastly is control of data with key. So there are two types of key under the current Azure Rights Management, which the first one is the bring your own key. This key is under the Office 360, sorry, not Office 365, is under your cloud tenant. And the other second key would be the sorry, what's the term? Hardware security modules. And I think yeah, that's the two keys which IT administrator able to control their data with. And that is all for now, which is pretty foundation of what is rights management. Moving on to part two would be given out more technical and demonstration about the rights management.